Hello YouTube, hello subscribers, hello friends. I'm Occult Priestess, Corinne Wilson, and today I will actually be reviewing a part of a blog I wrote. And within that review, I'm going to be adding more information that isn't found in the blog. Join me. This blog has been posted to my blog I've kept for 5 years, Occultist in the Corner, and it's entitled Awakening to Ghosts, the Lower Astral and the Ancestors. And I will be covering part 1 in this video of this 3-part blog. During my most recent Kundalini awakenings, which was 2010 to 2012, I found myself a lot less blissful and much more agitated. The first awakenings were filled with feelings of bliss, divine visitations, staggering Gnosis, and so many amazing happenings. The later awakenings, I must not have been going up as high vibrationally or in consciousness, because my radar was picking up lots of lower astral clutter. So my earlier awakenings were of a higher vibration than the later ones. It is true, I've had my Kundalini activations stopped about 14 times in the past 10 years. The Western culture doesn't take too well to an awakening light being, and I was put in my place several times. And there are videos on that here on my YouTube channel. I believe no matter how reality informs me of why my process of Kundalini awakening was stopped, I'm understanding more of the spiritual reason. I have agreed to work on many levels of consciousness to assist in clearing out the higher realms in order for the collective oversoul of humanity to heal. In order to clear out an oversoul, one must work on all levels of the soul, not just your own personal soul, which is your admission key to the collective, but the collective soul of humankind, something Jung would have called the collective unconscious. So you see, we are here dealing with dimensional realities and conscious, awake awareness of those different dimensional realities. We live in the reality that we call 3D, the third dimension. When you dream, when you sleep, when you get out of your body, usually you're in the fourth dimension, and there are many more. But these are the dimensions that mostly concern us here. The awakenings. The first awakenings or Kundalini activation for me was my Gnosis, my healing, my ego egg cracking, and a new consciousness born. I learned out about the history of my soul and my soul family, my brothers and sisters, or bro stars and sis stars as they are known. I had a tour of heaven. I learned philosophy. I saw my real home and why and how I became a human, and so much more. Yet it pretty much all pertained to me, the earlier awakenings. I was told that I was learning to walk, and then I would learn to hold others, and they described it as being able to hold babies. And it's interesting how one matures when one is open to the spiritual atonements, and alignments that are offered by higher vibrational beings. In the later awakenings, which were more recent, I was used as a vessel by cosmic and shamanic beings alike. I was kidnapped, taken over, ceaselessly questioned, bullied, drained, and exhausted. My free will seemed to be used like tissue paper. I'm only recently coming to understand what I've been through and how I've been used. This teaching all started with a vision of Hermes, my spirit guide, and what he showed me. Here's the picture. I did not understand the entire vision. At the time of the vision, the interpretation was the oversoul of humanity, collective unconscious, has to get closer to, move toward our living consciousness. Anyone who has awakened has had to experience the collective soul of humanity's past and present. It is not pretty. This phase of awakening is quite tormenting. The gnosis of what our ancestors did can be devastating. Tapping into the oversoul of humanity, it's a bad dream we must all wake up from. Ghost consciousness, for lack of a better term, must come closer to living consciousness in order for the all-one to heal or wake up from the collective nightmare we call history. I do not believe this vibrational movement of consciousness, the living thoughts close to the thoughts of the dead, has happened before. I believe this is a phase or stage of the shift or awakening of humanity. Cosmic consciousness, evolution. But what I wanted to speak on is the third dimension merging with the fourth dimension. I'm a visionary, I'm a psychic. I have been since I was born. At age 30, I had a Kundalini activation, and that brought me to a state of consciousness where I could travel to other places that I was invited to. And like I mentioned in the blog, I've been to heaven, I've been home, and I've been to many corners of the universe just through exploring. My consciousness is untethered when I'm going through an awakening. I have very little grounding going on whatsoever. However, I also understand during the later awakenings, I was being attacked by dark consciousness a lot. And that was very confusing and hard to take. And also being used as a vessel by invisibles to depart spirits from the earth and to clean up other people's karma. This difficult stuff. Then I wasn't prepared for it mentally. I was not told these things are going to happen to you. This is what you're going to have to go through as a shaman or as a priestess, as a reincarnated Egyptian, so, or as a Syrian. I am Cherokee. The collapsing of the dimensions is a very interesting subject to me. I'm very close to, love, adore Morpheus, the god of dreams. And he is, in my opinion, the king of that realm, the king of the fourth dimension. I don't believe he deals with the ghosts too much. That's probably more of a Hades character type of job. However, Morpheus is the king of dreams. He is the most creative force I've ever known. He is the imagination. And I have adored him since I was a late teenager when I learned about him in the Sandman comics by Neil Gaiman. And so Morpheus has been a part of my life for quite a while. Morpheus has told me that he and I believe the moon, La Luna, have a contract. Now, he hasn't told me what the mission is, but I'm starting to understand it is about the collapsing of the third and fourth dimensions. What would that look like? Well, what does it look like to me when I'm in a full-blown Kundalini activation? It looks like I'm on acid. It looks like the DMT in my pineal gland is overflowing, and I am seeing true reality. The realities of the yogis and the Buddhas. I don't know how they kept it together and kept so calm. It's so beautiful. So I was raised a Western person, and even Bollywood makes me feel like I'm tripping. So I love the visuals that I get from the, some would say, overactive DMT in my pineal gland. But who's to say it's overactive? I'm a professional psychic. It's my job. That's what I've been doing my entire professional career, is working on my pineal in so many ways. And myself spiritually, because you're not going to get anywhere if you're just doing it for your ego. You're not going to learn anything. You're going to have maybe a photographic memory, and maybe, but nothing of merit, nothing worth its weight in gold. So anyway, that would look like peace on earth. It would look like heaven manifested on earth, when really all we did was open our third eye as a collective and remembered who we are, what we are, and learn to love each other again, to love ourselves and to love each other again. And many very highly intelligent people that I adore also agree with me that we are headed towards the manifestation of heaven on earth. And sometimes I find it hard to open my mind to other ideas because of what I've seen upstairs, I call it, because what I've seen in my visions. Because when I have a vision, my consciousness is there. I'm watching it. I'm a part of it. I am interacting with it. And on a deep, deep level, I think it's a play between me and God. I think everything is. I think my consciousness is a play between me and God, and a play of love. However, I would like to hear your opinions. Do you feel, have you had dreams of the dimensions coming together? I've heard other channelers talk about this subject, and other things that I believe it means. Yeshua, Jesus, said, you can do these things and more. You can do miracles. And I believe that for quite a while, for, a stage, we've been in a cycle of being fallen to the flesh and fallen to consciousness. And when we're fallen to the consciousness, the sixth sense is ignored, and we become materialists, and things of nature become not so important, and the ego is aggrandized, and the left side of the mind, the scientific side of the mind, is aggrandized. And of course, we're out of balance when things are aggrandized in that way. However, it's all to wake everyone up, because the alarm has been going off for a while. And this is all a natural process, and I believe there's a big plan. I have Mercury in Pisces. I always see a bigger picture. I see my life beyond death. I see my consciousness in real time beyond death. So it's an interesting place to be, and I know some of you are already there, and some of you are almost here. We're excited because once we wake up, we recognize each other. We're like, oh my gosh, hey. And I'm meeting a lot, well, not a lot, but for me it's a lot. I've met a few people from past lives. That has not been common for me whatsoever. And my spirit guide has been generous enough. Hermes, has been generous enough to give me memories and flashes. So I know, hey, I know you from there and that time. So that's really exciting. It's fun these days to be an occultist because I believe the veil is coming off the secrets. And the things that should be revealed should be beautiful and wonderful and fill us with love. I understand there's a lot of darkness going on right now, but just think of it as the end of the end before the beginning. So leave your comments below. I'd like to know if you've had dreams, visions, intuitions about the collapsing of the third and fourth dimension, or if ancestors are bothering you. You can always come to me for professional guidance, and I usually give free advice through email because I'm nice. I hope you all are having a fabulous day, and I hope this subject was interesting to you. Namaste and blessed be.